back and we're on to the next step in hiving our bees. So let me go over a few of the basics. First of all, here's something fascinating about honeybees. 400 years ago, there were no honeybees in North America. None. Europeans brought them over. Now think about that, how honeybees have actually propagated throughout the country now and are an integral part of an amazing amount of food that we grow. And actually, the colonists also brought earthworms with them. You can't go out in your backyard and not find an earthworm. But 500 years ago, they weren't in North America. Amazing things on how earthworms and honeybees were brought over and actually make up a huge part of our agriculture now. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. This is our hive box, and there's gonna be a feeder on top of it in which I'm gonna pour sugar syrup. That sugar syrup is going to mimic nectar from flowers. Now, the reason I'm giving them sugar syrup is that we're waiting for all of these trees to actually flower, for food supply to be out there. Now, you will know there's a plentiful food supply when you come out to your car or your truck and you see that it's covered with green pollen. That green pollen means the flowers are out, which means the nectar's out. So we're coming to that standpoint. The bees have traveled from California. They're stressed. I want to give them some extra food to get them started. It's simply sugar and water. It's a syrup. Now, I went and removed the queen from that big package of 12,000 bees that I had. And I sprayed the outside of the package with sugar syrup. I banged it down. All the bees fell. And then I removed the feeder can and I pulled out the queen. And I'm going to have Laura show you the queen. I'm going to step back in just a moment. The queen is larger than a worker bee, and she's marked. You may not be able to see it. She has a blue dot. And the reason she has a blue dot is because as a beekeeper, when I want to check on my hive, the most important thing I need in that hive is to find the queen. There are other indications that the hive is thriving or not, but if I don't have a queen, the whole hive is going to die. So I'm going to leave the queen right there so Laura can step forward and give you a close-up shot of her. She has a blue dot on her head. Bees are insects, 3 body parts, 2 antennae, 6 legs. Okay, now, when I put them into the hive, I'm starting them with this. And this is called foundation. That's honeycomb that's not drawn out, that's wax. The first job the bees have to do when they are in there, they will get to work that same day that I hive them, and they will begin drawing out the wax. So I'm gonna flip this over and you can see how the wax is drawn out and larger on the top side of this frame. Now, the queen can't lay eggs until all the cells are drawn out. So I'm gonna show you an example of that progress. So now you can see that these cells are drawn out even more. It's actually harder for honeybees to make the wax than it is for them to make honey. And then, as they get going more and more, look at that. That's all drawn out. Now, when you see that the cells are dark like that, that means that this has been used before. The queen has laid eggs, they've developed into brood, and that's why it has a darkening color. I'm gonna start my bees this year with frames that are already drawn out. I'm helping them. They're not gonna have to go through all the work of drawing out the foundation. It's gonna be started for them. We're giving them a head start, anything that we can do to help them along. Now, before we head out there, I need to do this. The queen is here. There's a cork at the end. The queen can't get out. I'm gonna put her into the hive and I'm gonna insert a little bit of candy, this little tube. I'm gonna pull out the cork, I'm gonna put on a glove and put my finger there so the queen doesn't come out because the queen can sting, and I really don't feel like getting stung today. I'm gonna pull out that cork, I'm gonna put in the candy. The queen is gonna begin eating the candy, but the worker bees in the hive are gonna eat the candy from the other side, and the queen is gonna be released over the next several days slowly, and they are gonna get used to her pheromones, and hopefully, we'll check the following week, they will have accepted her as her queen, and we will begin seeing eggs that are laid. So I'm gonna take care of this, and I will meet you out at the garden, and we will hive our queen along with her attendants and everybody else in the hive.